Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate in Final Fantasy podcasts. I am your host, Caleb.
And I am Joe.
And today, we did not finish Vagrant Story, so we are not going to be reviewing Vagrant Story, although most of you probably didn't realize that we were planning on reviewing Vagrant Story because we didn't say anything last week.
We totally did say something last week.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I did.
No, you tweeted it.
Here's what I said on the show. I go, Schweiss, I'll beat it in a week if you're willing to do it. And you said yes.
Oh, okay.
That was in
Well,
the
we
show.
didn't ask for questions, so.
No, we didn't ask for questions, but some people have asked away. So I guess we'll ask this again, but there is a place in the forums for your Vagrant Story reviews and your Vagrant Story questions as well. And if you want to go check that out or add to that, you can go to ultimafinalfantasy.com, click on our forums. If you want to support the show, you can support the show via Patreon. You can also click through our Amazon link on our site, and whatever you buy through that link will give us a small kickback. And you can also support us directly via PayPal as well. And there's a store where we have a single t-shirt design right now, but we're going to be putting up other designs very soon. So if you want to check out those links, support the show, that's great. Otherwise, you can tweet me at Joseph DeGollier.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And yeah.
So what exactly happened with Vagrant Story? I know what happened with me.
It's a long journey, Schweiss. It started years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Vagrant Story. Story. I'm in a special place. People who are following me on Twitter know what happened with Vagrant Story with me. Now, I'm not sure if I would be able to beat the game anyway, because it seems like I checked a speed run where some guy was at. So the guide that I was following, the IGN guide, which is junk for Vagrant Story, by the way, although, someone had to put in their time for it, so thanks for that, but he's wrong about half the time, I think. Like what direction certain things are in.
Yeah.
He's just wrong all the time. But he had his guide kind of sectioned off into areas, and it seemed like I was getting really close, like in comparison to where I was in the guide compared to the end of the game. Then I looked at a speed run of the game, because I sometimes like to do that. If I get lost, I'll see some guy do it really quickly, and I'll know where to go. And this game is a big dungeon. It's basically it's like a JRPG Diablo almost, I would say.
That's what I would call it.
So I looked at the speed run just to see kind of where I was in the game, and it was like halfway. It was like the exact halfway mark, and I was like, God damn it. So in the speed runs version, he was 1 hour in. I was 13 hours in.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's how far I was able to get fully by yesterday morning. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to plow through this thing and get as far as I can. Sometime Friday night when I found that out, I was like, hey, Schweiss, are you going to be able to beat this thing? Because I don't think if you weren't able to put in a bunch of time because you had to work. And so I was like, if you're not going to be able to put in a bunch of time, I don't think you could beat this game tomorrow. It could be for you, it was looking like it was going to be 20 more hours in game. And I was like, he's not going to do that. Or else he'll try to kill himself like he did last week when he beat Paper Mario.
Yeah.
And how was that?
It was horrible. I went to sleep at 4 a.m. and woke up at 8.
Because you were so determined to beat a game.
Yeah, and this game I couldn't have beaten, so I just wasn't determined to beat it. So
yeah, so that's where that was, and whatever. Then yesterday I had some fucking issues, but I want to take it back. I want to take it back all the way, back to when we played either Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy IX. It was one of those two. I bought that game digitally on PlayStation 3. And I had played Final Fantasy VIII quite a few times on my PlayStation 3. And then, I don't know, a few months down the road, when doing a restart or whatever, I noticed that my PlayStation 3 would freeze. And this was the digital download version of the PlayStation 3, of the PlayStation game on the PlayStation 3. So, I didn't think that much about it because I don't think I was playing FF8, but when I put in FF8 or FF9, if you guys know the show, I guess you'll know the answer better than I will.
I feel like it was 8.
I tried it again, and the game, I would be able to play for like max 30 minutes before the game would freeze in FF8 or FF9. And I got super frustrated with it, and I ended up playing the game either on Steam for FF8 or on PSP for FF9 because it just couldn't work. Then we fast forward to Vagrants or to Parasite Eve. I don't know, have memory loss. I forget that was a effing problem, and I buy the digital version of that game. Try to play it on the PlayStation, does not work. Use your physical copy, does not work. That was terrible. So that Parasite Eve, it just like my PlayStation 3 is what I found out. It will not play PS1 games in any form.
Yeah.
It will not play PS1 games in any form without freezing, and it depends on the game how long it'll last before it freezes. And then when it freezes, it's gone, by the way. It doesn't like jitter up back again. It's dead until I turn off that PS3. Because I let it sit there for a while for Parasite Eve just to see, is it ever going to come up again? Is it ever? So I'm out of options that way. So the next thing that happens is my PS2 breaks at some point. Now I can't remember why. Guys, I'm telling you, the memory loss that I talked about on the last episode is it's all real. It's all 100% real. I can't fucking remember shit. But the PS2 breaks for whatever fucking reason. And when we were gearing up for this game, I was like, well, I might still have a PS1 somewhere. Totally do. I got a PS1. And I have the PS1 version of Vagrant Story. Can't play the PS3 digital version. Just can't do it. Then last week, because we put off playing Vagrant Story for forever because of Paper Mario and all that we had for the other podcast. It's not that we put it off. We have an end date for Vagrant Story, and we've had to push it a week because of certain things. But we did have to start it late. I got my in time video here. Is a couple minutes long. This will explain what happened on the first day of the cursed Vagrant Story. So let me just play this thing for you. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you today that the game Vagrant Story, this game, right here, is cursed. I woke up this morning and the power was not working here in Ogden, Utah. So I did a few things to start my day. Power came back on. I was like, oh yeah, I need to go get a memory card for the game. I lost my memory card. Last time I used Schweiss's memory card. I don't know what happened to my original memory card. So I went to Game Asylum, which is a used game store here in Ogden, and I got a used Sony PlayStation 1 memory card. Came back home, and the power shut off right as I was walking into the door. So I was like, okay, power's back off again. I guess I'm just going to read a book. So I read a book for like 2 hours. And then the power came on, and I was like, okay, sweet, it's Vagrant Story time. I put the new memory card back in, turned on the PlayStation without a disc in it, went in, saw the memory card was empty, and I was like, oh, that's odd. He said he didn't erase the memory on this memory card. That's weird. Oh, whatever. I'll go in. Hopefully nothing's wrong with it. I put in Vagrant Story. I go into the menu. There's a continue option, and just for fun, I'm like, let me press the continue thing and make sure the memory card at least loads up. And of course it doesn't. I go in, it says your memory card is inserted improperly. It can't work. And so I take the memory card out, change the slots, make sure it's nice and tight in there. Oh yeah. Thing is not working. So I have to then go back to the game store and get a new memory card. And I decided this time that I was going to get an off-brand, factory-sealed memory card for the PlayStation 1. I come back, and yes, it works just fine. It works perfectly. And I didn't feel like streaming, so I decided to start up the game Vagrant Story, and make sure that when I save, it doesn't mess up or anything. So I get 20 minutes into the game, save the game, turn the console off, come back in, load the game, and it works just fine. Play the game for another 30 minutes, get to another save point, works just fine. I play the game a little bit more, and then I solve a little puzzle where I have to open up a door using a lever, and there's a timed thing, and I have to run into the doorway, and then I get this. Do you see this? Nothing. It's a black screen. I walk into that doorway, I can't do anything. The game is a black screen. I've done it twice now. I got to the next part in like 2 minutes because I knew how to get to it. And it's just blank. I can't play Vagrant Story. There's something wrong with the disc now. There's something wrong with my power. There was something wrong with the memory cards. And now there's something wrong with the game.
Now, it doesn't even fucking end there. I beg Caleb Craig, to let me borrow his PlayStation Vita so that I can play Vagrant Story. Now, Craig is not a guy who like holds on to shit very much, but there's something sacred about his Vita that he seemed real fucking hesitant to let me borrow. But he had Vagrant Story on it, and he let me borrow it. So I drove down here to do, I believe, the Godzilla podcast. I grabbed his PS Vita, which he already installed Vagrant Story on for me, and then I go up home and I restart the game again. So now let me explain. We've had 2 power outages. We have had 2 memory card issues. We have now had 2 either gameplay issues, and now I'm on my second copy of Vagrant Story. This one, a digital copy via the PlayStation Vita on Caleb Craig's thing. Now, I go through this game, and at the 6-hour... Oh, better stop that. It starts making noise if you leave it in there. Sorry. At the 6-hour mark, I get real fucking stuck on a fire elemental asshole. Actually, I think it was probably 7 hours. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I had been warned throughout saying that, look, the game is difficult. You really need to understand the weapon system or else you're going to get fucked.
Yeah.
And so I go through and I start studying up again on the weapon system. I did, in fact, read some stuff on the weapon system. I thought I had it down. I didn't. This is the surprise for you guys playing Vagrant Story. Get one weapon per class that you're fighting against. And then you should be good. Anyway, I thought I screwed myself out of a weapon. Luckily, some people on Twitter came to help me, so thank you very much. And they were like, there's actually a place where you can forge your weapons that's a lot closer than you thought. There's a little room that I had just missed. I missed a doorway. And so
you don't have to go back to town?
So I didn't have to go all the way back to the beginning of the game like I thought I had to. I thought I had to go through the catacombs to find the weapon thing. But there was one a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that was making me want to quit, because I had already journeyed over there. Thought I had fixed my weapons and didn't, and then I also got rid of a bunch of blades, and I thought I screwed myself out, and I didn't.
I didn't find one at the beginning of the game. I found one in the village where you fight the humans.
Yeah,
like
that was... I didn't find that one.
Oh, really? That's the only one I found. I didn't know there was one before.
Yeah,
I was just like, fuck, man, when am I going to be able to use these crafting materials? Like, Jesus, I'm 7 hours into the game, and it's like, here's crafting stuff. I'm like, fuck it, I don't know what this is.
Here's the thing. Friday night, or it was Thursday night, I think, I thought I had screwed myself out of the game.
Okay.
I thought I had done something.
So it was your fault this time.
I thought I had done something, not just God or whoever is trying to punish me right now.
Sakaguchi himself.
Sakaguchi himself. So I was so angry, but then I watched a movie and just to clear my head because I was so fucking mad at the game. because I was like doing 5 damage to a boss, like slowly eking him down. I got one boss down, and then I went to the next boss, and I'm like, I can't fight this guy. It's impossible. Then that night, I was like, okay, so there is a closer sword thing. So I went, forged some weapons, had all but one class kind of covered, and I'm like, okay, I think I got this. I have to just I have to go into the catacombs, take this weapon, fight against phantoms for a little while to get the phantom number higher, and then I'll be fine. And I did that, and I totally beat the boss the next day. It wasn't that easy because it still wasn't that high of a item, and I only had like 10 points of affinity, which are the points that kind of give you, how much damage you're doing.
Yeah, your buffs for certain types of enemies.
Yeah, and there was a spell in a nearby chest that also made that boss easier that I had also missed.
Yeah.
So I was able to beat that guy, and like all hope, I was like, "Oh, thank God!" I was going to restart this game.
And that was Flame Guy, right?
Tomorrow, yeah, that was the fire elemental asshole. Right after the dragon with the 1,000,000 HP.
Yeah, the dragon was rough.
Yeah. And so I did it, and I was so happy. I was like, "Guys, I got this! I figured out this weapon system finally." And I did. The game was... I haven't had a problem in the game really since. I've had a couple game overs, but then I restarted the bosses, tried a different tactic, and I beat them. It was all fine, Schweiss. It was all fine. Now, remember, we're on our second copy of the game, so something has to go wrong. Yesterday, I believe... Yeah, yesterday morning, 13:09 into the game... roughly at the halfway mark, according to the speed run I was checking out. I beat this Earth Elemental guy who took me, I think 3 tries to beat him, to figure out kind of like how to beat him. And it's after this big timed maze where you have to go through this dungeon, and you have like 2 minutes to get through the dungeon, including fighting the boss. Then you pass that room, and then you go into another room, and then you're in the next area. You're supposed to be anyway. Fight that guy, go into the next area, and it's like the game was like, fuck you. I saw the screen jitter for a bit when I walked into a room, and then my HUD is still on, totally fine. The room is black. The room is completely black. And there are guys attacking me. I was able to kill one of them without being able to see anything.
That's impressive.
Yes. But there are 2 other guys attacking me at that moment. I've gotten a game over every time I've gone to that room. So I have learned very well how to defeat the Earth monster. I have now beaten that boss 5 times to see, in fact, if this room was continuously black no matter what I did. And it turns out to be the case. First, I beat him normally, went straight into the room, it was black. Tried it again to see if it was a fluke, it was black. I can't grab onto things, I can't tell when my guy is on top of things, I can't tell where he is in the room, frankly. It's impossible. I've looked at images of this room to see if I can just get to the next fucking doorway. I can't do it because I'm getting fucking raped while I'm running around in that room. It's impossible. And I have no idea if I in fact get through a doorway if the world is going to light back up again. I don't know if it's going to be completely black as hell and Satan if I don't get through that fucking shit. So I try it. Because it's a timed trial, I'm like, maybe I can get out of it, because it's obviously a glitch. I had to look it up to see, hey, this room is not supposed to be a completely black room.
And it's not?
It's not.
Okay, so it's not like Legend of Zelda where it's just dark until you set something on fire.
No. It's nothing like that. It's actually a graphical glitch. So, I tried the boss normally twice. I let the timer run out. I went to different rooms first and came back through to see if it would load differently. I reinstalled the game, and that was kind of like the final nail in the coffin. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to reinstall this game and see if it in fact loads up again. Schweiss, I'm fucking cursed. At 13 hours into this game, roughly halfway, I have run into a glitch that I cannot get past.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I haven't had any
So
glitches.
my first copy of Vagrant Story had me going into a black room. My second copy of Vagrant Story has me going and this is a digital copy. This is on the PlayStation Vita. This is not even my... if it was my equipment, I would understand because everything I touch turns to shit. But this isn't even my thing. And there's a fucking glitch that's not letting me through the fucking game. So I'm halfway through this game. I can't go on.
I think I'm pretty close to you, aren't I? Because I'm at the wind elemental guy.
How many hours in?
I'm like 7 hours in. He's the guy after the flame guy.
You got a little while. You got a big area you got to get through.
I can't beat the wind guy. Although I think I can now because I tried the there are timing elements to this game, and there's a move that allows me to kind of reflect damage back to the enemy. And that one does like 50 damage when I do it. So that one's like fucking him up pretty hard. If I don't do that, I'm doing like 1 damage a hit. Because I don't really have weapons that are great against this guy at this time. And I don't really feel like going all the way back. So I'm not gonna. But I don't know. Is that how you killed him, with Reflect?
No, I didn't kill him with Reflect. Sometimes Reflect doesn't want to work on the elemental guys that often. It'll work sometimes. It won't work every time, though.
Well, it worked when I used it, so I don't know.
You just cast on the air guy. You got to cast. You got to have. I think there's a item that gives you like air affinity on your armor.
Yeah, there is.
So switch the gem out, and then.
Oh, I don't know if I have a gem for that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a shield with a one-handed sword.
I'll have to look.
So that you take less damage on his big attacks, and then another thing you can do, you cast Degenerate on him, and then you'll be able to attack with pretty good accuracy and pretty good attacks.
Yeah.
And kind of I figured out at a certain point, pretty much all the elementals have the same strategy. And they're giving you a certain spell after they die that'll help with the next boss.
Well, the cool thing was when I got to the fire guy, I was getting kind of rocked, and then I was like, "Fuck!" And then someone in the chat was like, "Don't you have do you have a spell or anything that can help you?" And I was like, "Well, I have the fire spell." And what I was thinking is like, cast fire on me or the fire affinity so that I take less damage and it'll make it easier. But really, what I did after that is I cast water on me. And then I fucking destroyed the guy because I had water-based attacks now, and I was doing like 60 damage.
You can do earth-based attacks on yourself.
Yeah.
With the air guy, and that's how you kill him.
I don't know if I have the earth thing, though.
Okay, well,
I'll have to look.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you do, actually. I kind of doubt that you don't. Anyway.
It's fucking cursed.
This game is fucking cursed.
I haven't run into
fucking cursed.
I haven't run into a single glitch. I've run into the game pounding me. Because sometimes the attacks, like I've got a pretty good idea when it's time to heal and when it's time to just kind of sit back and take it a little bit while you're trying to get some combos up. And my combos, I've gotten, I think a 9-hit combo is my best one so far, and it's only happened like once. It's usually around like 3 to 7. So I need to get a lot better at that to start doing some real
Here's
damage.
the problem with the combos is that your risk goes way up when you do combos and you start missing if you go too high with the combos.
That's true, but it goes up every time you attack also.
So
So it's like, yeah, it goes up when you
should
combo.
be able to hit that first combo anyway. I'm telling you, with the elemental guys, they have low HP, so if you keep the risk down, you don't have to do combos on them. You can just...
That's true. If I have the right shit equipped,
do better. Yeah.
Those guys are pretty weak, and they're going to be standard
I love
enemies.
giving you information like I'm going to be able to continue the fucking game.
Yeah, and not like you're not going to have to restart it yet
like
again.
I'm not going to have to fucking restart it again.
So what are you going to do? Like, are you going to borrow my PS2 with the physical copy?
This is what I'm going to try.
Because I've got a PS2 upstairs. It's fine.
After Nude Clan, when Caleb is mixing the Nude Clan episode, I'm going to try to load my save data onto your PS3.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And I'm going to play through that part on your PS3 and see if...
You can pull the save data back off.
And see if your PS3 will load that room.
Oh, yeah, that's true. If you can get the save data on there, my PS3 should be able to.
I mean, unless the glitch is the save...
Although, here's the problem, though, is I need my PS3.
No, I'm saying I'll play through it.
Okay, and then save it and then pull it back.
Save in a further portion.
If it's the save, you're fucked. If it's not the save, you might still be fucked because it might be the digital copy. And when you bring that save file back to the digital copy, it's going to work its little digital wormy hands and just destroy your life.
It didn't have a fucking problem until that part. There was nothing. There was no like weird. Oh, this room is a little weird. Oh, that's weird. I'll just continue on. It's not like it had any like I'm looking for a word, and there's a word for it. I can't think of it.
Symptoms, any prior symptoms to it.
Prior symptoms.
You just died of it. Just died of cancer. There was no like, oh man, you're losing a lot of weight. Are you feeling okay? It's just fucking dead. You're just gone.
There's no build up whatsoever, dude. It was just like, I'm doing just fine. Black room. Try it 5 fucking times. Get really good at killing the Earth Elemental, and get like just get. It's just awful.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Man, I haven't run into a glitch like that in a long time. Like I haven't run into game breaking glitches in years. I've run into glitches that happen that like fuck me once or twice, and I'm like, oh okay, it happens. But like the only thing that comes to mind is I was playing. I don't know if you remember playing the old PS2 Call of Duty games, but like those things are fucking hard. At least when I played them, they were like, it was not an easy or fun playthrough at all. It was fun because it was like copying the fucking movie Saving Private Ryan half the time. So I was like, yeah, I remember this part. I'm in the tower sniping. Like, yeah, it's great. And then there was this one level I got on. It was like, it was this tank level, and I fucking hate tank levels in those early Call of Duty. I think it was Big Red 1 is what it was on the PS2. And like, I finally am able to kill all these assholes that are just laying waste to my tank, right? And I go around this turn, and I'm turning, and like as I turn, this RPG just slams into the tank, and I'm like rolling over, and I'm like, shit, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. But then like I just kind of kept rolling, and I was like, Jesus, what's happening here? And then like the little aiming reticle, the little green reticle icon just like kept sticking to the screen, and I was like trying to spin around and like find where I was, kind of get my orientation back. And then like I see the map, and like the map is there, but the map is fucking like far away. Like I am floating off into the abyss, and I can see the level that the game designers have designed, and I can see the parameters where I'm supposed to be, and I'm just fucking floating out into space. And I'm like, and then I eventually started fucking around with it, and I was like spinning my thing around, and like the reticle like every half second would just stick to the screen, and then eventually it was just like fucking an army of aiming reticles. And I look back, and the map is just this tiny little blip, and I'm like, fuck this, man. Fuck this game. I fucking finally get past this stupid part. This asshole RPGs me into oblivion, and now I'm just like, I don't know. It's like my dying thoughts is like I'm
the
just
world
fucking
of targets.
Yeah, it's just nothing but targets and no way to shoot them. So that's the only thing I've had in anywhere near this where it's just like, and it sucks because it always happens. It always happens when you finally get past that one part. You're like, yes, and like the excitement, the love for the game, like comes rushing back to you, and then it just sees that in your eyes, and it just takes it away from you.
Well, Vagrant Story is it'll do that in the game without glitches.
What it does is it's got like a gift behind something, and then like it has it like under a little sheet, and you think it's like the prized bird that you've always wanted, and then it like rips the sheet out. It's just a fucking skeleton in a cage, and it's like, nothing.
Yesterday, I was shaking in rage because, oh my god, dude, it will not stop. I'm pretty sure I'll put in your PS3, and it'll just like the second PS3 that I touch will then suddenly start having the freezing problems of the
my PS3 will turn into a piece of shit too.
Because everything's in pairs right now with the fucking shit luck I have. It's just like it keeps going. God, dude, this is what I told you. This is the truth. If I cannot get either your save or if my save won't work, I'm done with this game. I'm going to review it as a fucking piece of shit, glitchy motherfucker that will not work on anything I try it on.
Although, admittedly, the PS1 copy is probably fine.
No, it's not fine.
Your PS3 is a piece of shit. That's why
I played it on the PS1, motherfucker.
Oh, you're right. That's right. I didn't realize how deep this went until today, to be honest. Like I
fucking gave you the video of the Twitter thing.
Well, yeah, but
and then through the week.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I kind of associated those as all the same event.
No,
for some reason.
2 power outages, 2 memory card problems, 2 different PlayStations, 3 now 2 copies of the game.
You only bought one of the copies, though. So I mean,
yeah, I only bought one of the copies.
Yeah.
But I bought all those fucking memory cards.
That's true, yeah.
God fucking damn it, dude.
That is insane. That I think it's because you just waited and the game knows it needs to be beaten. And so it's like you have to put in the time to Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story will not allow you.
If I was actually play this on Monday, I would have this game beaten right now. Oh, assuming that the game didn't have a game-breaking glitch midway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, is this... And the thing is like when you played, a new Nightmare for Nude Clan, like that, the guide was like, don't do this or it'll break the game. Don't do this or it'll break the game. These guides don't say anything about that because the game is supposed to work. The game isn't supposed to have problems like this, but it's just, for some reason, yours is. I don't know why. And you retried the PS1 multiple times, right?
Yeah.
And like the same glitch happened in the same room.
Yep.
Dude, I'm afraid that it is the save file. Like somehow something happened. It's like a Grand Theft Auto game. If you like fuck around too much, like it'll never go right again. Like if you use too many cheat codes, the game just can't comprehend, and things start happening that are out of your control, and there's no
idea
there's
how
no way
angry
to stop
I
it.
am right now. Just fucking no idea. So I was ready to cry when it first happened. I was like, I just spent, because I really did. I spent the entire day on Friday playing Vagrant Story. I played Vagrant Story until my eyes hurt. I was on there. Most of my time was on Friday, dude. In those 13 hours. Most of that time.
Damn.
Yeah. I ate, played Vagrant Story, then watched a movie and went to bed. That's all I did.
That's pretty sad.
So, the fact that the fucking game glitched out on me, it makes me very angry. And if I can't ratify the situation, I will have to review a partial game because I don't give a fuck. I'm not restarting. I'm not restarting. I'm 100% not restarting. Because here's what'll happen. I'll fucking restart, get 20 hours into the game, and then it'll fucking glitch on me. So, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not risking that. I'm fucking done. I'm done.
Well, what might need to happen is I might need to make a second save.
So, that's what I asked you to do. That's my way out, is that you make a second save, despite the fact you're not doing the weapons right. I'm going to have to fucking deal with your inexperience.
Well, I haven't made any weapons at all. So
I know you haven't. You don't have. You said you've been using the same like weapon the whole time.
Yeah. Well,
which will be fine for certain classes. There's a shitload of beasts. I'm sure you're great against beasts.
Well, it does a lot of damage against the undead, but it does more damage to everything else than any other weapon in my inventory. Also.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like... when I get into a boss fight that's really tough, I try all of my weapons if I'm doing shit damage, but this one still does more, like every single time. So I don't know. I'm sure I can make one that does more, but...
Well, you probably spend about... In the next area you go into, look for the one with the best number against them, as well as certain classes take more damage from certain types of weapons, edge, piercing, whatever. So just like figure out that matchup, and then just like whenever you see like I would keep your sword for the undead. That's probably fine. Whenever you see a human, pull out this sword and just use it. And then whenever you see a beast, pull out this other sword and use it. And then eventually, and pretty fast actually, those weapons will be way better against that type than any other type.
So I just need to suck it up and use it?
Yeah, you do.
Fuck.
Like if you're going against phantoms, find the nearest room that had a ghost in it. That'll give you the phantom points. Go against him like 30 times. Just exit the room, come back in. Exit the room, come back in. And fight him like 30 times, and you'll probably have an affinity of 10 against him. And then you'll be able to do a lot more damage on the boss.
Not the backtrack.
That is honestly the weapon system. Everybody's making these fucking like huge lists on how the weapon systems work. It always makes me mad because I'm like, why do people on the internet have to overcomplicate this shit?
Yeah, it's not very complex,
No.
but I just haven't done it because I don't know. This weapon is just
one weapon per class,
that powerful,
and you can just build up that weapon towards it. And, like you want piercing for humans, and you want blunt for phantoms, and you want edged for dragons. Those are the ones I remember. The other ones I haven't had a problem with, so I don't know. I assume they're piercing because I had more piercing weapons than anything. But fuck, maybe that'll be the thing that breaks your game. I don't know.
Maybe
that'll be
maybe
like maybe that's the
understanding-
code screwy stuff.
Understanding the system and taking advantage of it.
Yeah, maybe
Working
that'll
the
fuck
system.
you over.
That's what I get for
We're
that's what
35 minutes into this.
That's what you
podcast,
get
by
for
the way.
working the system, Joe. You get fucked. That's an inside joke at work. It's pretty great. There's this one boss, this one guy. There's a kid that wants to get as many hours as he can, so he keeps talking to the boss into sending him in early. And then, like, another boss will like walk in and be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing here? Like, why are you here so early? The schedule has you at this," because he's like a douchebag micromanager. And then like there was another time later he was talking shit on that guy, and he was like, "Yeah, that guy just likes to work the system. He wants to get as many hours as he can." And I'm like, well, "He's still working. It's not like he's cheating."
Honestly, I totally have. I have respect for the guy who's trying to get as many hours.
Exactly, yeah. And this douchebag is like, "No, he just works the system."
I have a friend that's like hyper conservative. She didn't have medical insurance, and she like refused to do Obamacare. I'm like, look, I know this is against your. I guess you hate socialism or whatever, and it's not even that, but whatever. Fuck you. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, I pay $4 a month for health insurance. Now it's kind of shit insurance. If I'm gonna owe like up to I think like $5,000 if I have a problem,
Yeah,
but it'll stop. It won't keep going. It'll be $5,000.
that's true. Yeah,
So it's shit insurance, but I am paying $4 of cash a month for this health insurance, and I'm like, look, you may not like the system. Use it, though. Are you kidding me? Use it to your advantage. Take your greedy hands in there and give it to yourself. Like, come on. If the guy could get away with more hours and he wants more hours,
yeah.
come on.
It's crazy, but yeah, that's what you get for spending the time, taking the time to put the work in, to learn the weapon system, to set it up,
Yes.
to grind it out.
That's what I
get punished.
That's
Yeah.
what I get. I get punished for it.
Maybe I will go back and do that phantom thing. The other problem is like I have the timing down for this weapon like
Oh, yeah.
pretty well, and then
That's
the timing
something that
is totally
it fucks
different.
me up every time I switch weapons. I'm like, oh, God, what is it for this one?
And some of them are like really fast, some of them are slow as hell, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just. But I'm sure I can get used to that a little bit.
Yeah.
And even if I can't, if I'm doing like 30 damage a hit, it doesn't matter. I'll take some damage. And the one thing that I regret is how many HP items that I used for the fucking dragon fight and the elemental fight and like the early game fights. Like I was blowing through cure bulbs and shit because I was just taking mass damage and doing nothing. And now it's like, now that I'm starting to understand it, it kind of sucks that I don't have those items anymore. But there's not really anything I can do about that.
Yeah, I ran out of mana regen real fast.
I only ended up earning or finding like 2 or 3 things that give me extra mana, so I don't have.
There were certain rooms I was in earlier in the game that like everybody was dropping a mana potion.
Oh, really?
And it's like, I just assume I'll cross something later on that'll do the same thing and like grind those out.
It'd be nice if we found like a shop in the game, or if we had some
there's nothing
sort
like
of
that.
currency, but we don't.
Nope.
It's a currency shopless.
You're in there and you're
JRPG.
sneaking around. That's your character. He can't be shopping.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But he can be forging weapons in a room.
That's true. Yeah, he could be a blacksmith. That's real fucking covert. Fucking starting up that furnace. They're like, oh, who's in the smithy shop? Like, yeah, real fucking sneaky.
That's what the bad guys went in there, turned off the lights.
Yeah. Like, you know what? We're gonna cut the power to room A12, and
there's
he's
power.
gonna go nowhere.
God damn it, dude. So
It's because he used their smith. Went through too many coals burning your weapon, so they're gonna fuck you over.
you know, we had a plan for this episode. I don't know if we could do that plan right now.
You don't think so?
No. Well, we're at 40 minutes.
Oh my god.
So this was a nice intro, right? You want to get into the news and then questions? And
Yeah, let's get into the news, I suppose.
First up in news, Vagrant Story is a piece of fucking glitchy shit. No one should play it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next in news?
So apparently there was a Bitcoin symbol on Celis's fucking bed that she wakes up in after she thinks about committing suicide. I think it looks more like an E, but it does look pretty damn similar to the Bitcoin. It's got it looks like a little B or an E inside a circle, and it's got like green outside of it. So I guess people are saying that Final Fantasy VI foreshadowed Bitcoin.
Okay, I see the Bitcoin logo.
That's an E though.
No, that is a B.
There's a missing block there though. Who writes their B? No, actually, yeah, I think you're right. I think that is how you do it in like a 16-bit B.
I think that's a B.
It's missing the line.
It could be a fucking kanji symbol for all I know, but it looks like a B, and I assume it means bed.
Yeah, probably.
So, no. What is this, from metro.co.uk? Come on.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not
right.
Kotaku.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not Kotaku. Did you know that they, in fact, knew of Bitcoin years and years ago?
One thing I will say is that this site is one of those spam sites. So, like, the things we have on the site here are kangaroo killed by zoo visitors throwing bricks at it and trying to get a reaction. Obese sisters, 6 and 8, undergo gastric band surgery in bid to save them. And seal carrying knife in its mouth should be a warning to us all about littering. So this is a clickbait site. This is made for the clickbait. So yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
And also I will say that everyone's like giving it praise now. You know, Bitcoin was worth, every single share, every Bitcoin was worth $19,190.63 in December 16th, and now it is worth $8,862. So where's the prediction for that? Where's the it's gonna fall? Maybe it was Celis like jumping off the cliff. Maybe that was like
God.
and that's like the fall
wow.
of it was the fall of Bitcoin.
So the writers of FF6 were in fact
the creators of Bitcoin.
They were like fucking Nostradamus or something. They were like they were seers. They were prophesying of
the Bitcoin.
Of Bitcoin's fucking stock status. What the shit?
Yeah. Something that it won't come out until 2013. So very impressive, very impressive. So
yes.
Second up, we have another Dissidia edition, April 26th. So shortly after you guys get this episode, Vane Solidor will be a DLC character for the game. So if you're still playing
But you do actually have to play that game.
Yeah. And you have to pay for it.
Yeah, how much did you pay for it again?
The game?
Yeah.
Oh, I paid like $200.
Oh, okay.
Way too much money. But you can buy Vane for 800 yen plus tax, which is like, what, $8?
Yeah, it's about $8.
So, and you get 2 costume color variations and 2 additional weapons. Honestly, yeah, I don't know if anyone's still playing it, but if you are, you can get...
Who gave us news? Was it Shinru?
It was Shinru, yeah.
All right, thanks, Shinru.
So Final Fantasy VII Remake is aiming to exceed the original. Well, that's a surprise. And Square Enix
do you ever make a remake
philosophy.
to just like, I'm just going to lowball this one. We'll just make an all right one.
Well, they do that for spin-offs.
Yeah,
I feel like they went into Dirge of Cerberus saying like, let's just lowball this. Like, we're gonna build a lot of hype up with it being Vincent as the main character, but we're not gonna worry about third person shooter standards that exist at this time.
Team is aiming at a new creation that isn't just a simple remake. A game that exceeds the original FF7. But there's not that many games that exceed the original FF7. They're aiming they're aiming pretty high there.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. So they want to they said it's going to be more challenging than creating new games in a sense because they want to create a new world view while protecting concepts that are familiar to the players. I guess I can see why that would be more difficult. I mean, I think they're kind of tooting their own horn with that section there because they're like, well, this is kind of more work than creating Final Fantasy 16. I'm like,
do you
maybe.
want to bet on the score from fucking Game Informer?
It's going to be
I'm saying it's an 8.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, 8.5 Game Informer. I'm going to say 9.25. I think they'll blow
You think it's
it.
going to be Final Fantasy 13's 9.25?
Yeah, I think they'll blow it, but no one will actually really like it that much.
Just remember, they only gave it, for the first time, I think they gave it a 9 or a 9.5. Game Informer was rough on the original FF7 in comparison to other. I mean, it was still a 9 out of 10.
I wonder what they gave FF10.
FF10, I believe that was. I think that was a perfect. It was either a perfect score. It was a 9 point something. Oh, now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah,
Don't listen to my perfect score.
See, Game Informer goes through phases. Like there was a time where it seemed like they were really blowing Call of Duty, and like every Call of Duty that would come out would be like 9.75. Like it wouldn't quite be a 10, so people wouldn't shit their pants, but it'd be really high. And now it's like
Call of Duty 4 was a 10.
Okay, yeah. Now it's
and
like
honestly, for that time, it totally deserved it.
see,
Modern Warfare, the original one, is amazing.
I never actually played it, so
It's amazing.
But yeah, I feel like they went through a phase where now it's okay to not be 9.75 and everything up, so they don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think it will. I think it will do well, but I don't think it'll be quite as great as they think.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much. I bet it has some backlash too. Let's see here. Game Informer gave Final Fantasy X 9.75. Yeah, so that's pretty freaking high.
Yeah.
Famitsu gave it a 39 out of 40. Which is the publication that always gives Final Fantasy, no matter how shitty, like a 38 or a 39.
True.
So
never a 40.
Never a 40. I thought 12 had a 40. Am I crazy?
Maybe 12 did.
I think 12.
Rarely a 40.
It was it was an odd one for a 40. I remember thinking.
If it's a Zelda though,
it'll
it's
probably
there.
get a 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Or a 39. Yeah, so I mean, I guess in a lot of ways it would be more difficult to create FF7's remake than a new game. I still wish they would just move on, but there's not really an option for that. I feel like it's going to be awkward if they release the game as they've discussed, because they talked about like releasing it in chunks, right? But like, what kind of a stopping point? What kind of a stopping point are you going to have?
It's just Midgar. That's always the stopping point in the game.
Yeah.
If they're actually, straight up copying the structure.
I guess, but it's like there's supposed to be a lot of extra content, so we're going to be able to fully explore the world of Final Fantasy VII. So I mean, you'll have stuff to do, but if the gap in time is long enough between releases of these games, like, are they going to be able to keep the hype up? Because everyone wants like a complete game. You want a beginning, a middle, and an end. And sometimes you want to take your time as you play through the game, so it'll work well for those people. And other times you want to like plow the shit out of it because you're enjoying it and you want to put a ton of hours into it. You want to put time into it because you're passionate about what you're playing. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be difficult in that respect, and I think it's also going to be kind of hard to score it. Like, how are they going to rate the game? How is the game going to be? Are we going to give
Hopefully on its own merits?
So like each release, each chunk is like rated as one. Like I wonder how that's going to be.
Okay, yeah, I don't know
how the episodic style is going to be handled. I mean, I know other episodic games have been released and they have been reviewed and things like that. But I wonder exactly how that's gonna go.
Yeah. Is that all of our news?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. There's not really a whole lot of news.
I got 2 questions here we haven't answered, and there was the big question we could do a whole episode on. I think we'll save because it is something I have to think about before the episode actually starts.
Okay.
You want to pull up that question jingle?
Oh yeah. Suppose I ought to. Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. Don't contact us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them within weeks. This is the question segment. Ask and you will receive.
All right, so Shinra asks, in response to the recent news of modding tools officially coming to FF15, didn't know that was news, but... Thanks, Shinra, for the news. We all know nude mods are coming. So if you were forced to choose, or wanted to choose, what male FF15 character would you be curious to see naked?
Would I be curious to see naked?
Yeah. Prompto, Ignis, Noctis, or Gladio, or would it be someone else like Arden or Core?
I don't know if I would be curious to see any of them.
You would
male.
buy curious to see...
Like I feel like the question was fun until the word curious came up, and then it was just uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
All right, who would it be? You know what? What about the old emperor, like the bad guy? Like, let's see his shriveled up cock
Just go to the pool. I'm sure he's one of those guys.
that just swims nude, or or just showers like shamelessly.
Yeah.
Forever.
Those guys with confidence.
Yeah, they just walk right past you as you're like tying your shoe, and their dick's like right there, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, why? Just put the towel on." Like, Jesus. I always hated that, and I always hated the one guy in PE class. It was like giving people shit that wouldn't shower and like wouldn't get undressed, and everybody's like, "We all got the same thing, you know. We all got the same thing." I was like, "Do you really want to see my dick that badly, dude? Like, do you really want to see it? Like, you're giving me shit for not showing you my dick right now. Like, come on." But if I were gonna do it, I would say either King Regis or the Emperor. I can't remember his name. Emperor Palpatine from Final Fantasy
Regis
15.
or Emperor Palpatine. Okay.
Yeah. Old man dong. Although Regis isn't really that old. He's just kind of aged because of the ring and whatnot. So he's only like 40. I don't know.
I would like to see like who's the most well hung out of the four dudes.
It's probably like Prompto. Some like
to
cute
see-
surprise.
I bet it is Prompto.
Yeah.
It would have to be Prompto, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it can't be Gladiolus because he has to lift to make up for.
Yeah, that's
make
right.
up for
Gladiolus
it.
probably has the smallest penis.
And then he realizes later that just being bigger just makes it look smaller in perspective. So he's just like even more furious. So he just lifts more and more. Noctis is I don't know, probably normal.
I don't know.
I can't imagine he's got much testosterone, so his balls probably aren't that big because he's in sleep for like a decade and he comes out and he's got
a little scruff.
Yeah, it's like you probably should shave, but you're only like 16 and it's peach fuzz. So I don't know about that guy, but
So in response, A for Extreme says Ignis, so I can see him say, "I've come up with a new recipe."
yeah, it's Vienna sausage.
While his dog is just flopping around with the little chef's hat on.
That would be pretty great. It would be a DLC. No. It's not a chef's hat. It's a fucking cup noodle, like upside down on the tip of his penis. That's how they censor it.
Cup noodle. Wow. Okay, Abrax says, I choose Prompto because I still don't really understand his origins. So I'm kind of curious what's going on down there.
His origins.
And A for Extreme responds with, I'm kind of curious what's going on down there, in quotes. And he goes, spoiler alert, he has a penis.
I don't know. Oh, shit. Maybe he thinks he's like, I don't know, like a robo penis. I don't know.
Bonus question, Ahem, what girls would you like to see first? Ariana, Cindy, Gentiana, Lunafreya, or maybe an older lady.
What about the old lady?
Hillary Clinton?
Oh, no. I could do without the sag. It's hate to be insensitive, but yeah.
That's pretty insensitive. Yeah.
I feel like Cindy doesn't really leave enough to the imagination to really require a nude. Like I'm pretty sure I know what's going on. Like all his clothes are super tight. It's like you got clothes one time when you were like 13 and you never really kind of got a new set of clothing and it doesn't really fit you anymore. But it's not a bad not fit you. It's just a not fit you because it's tiny. So I feel like Cindy would be out because I pretty much everyone pretty much knows what that looks like. Luna Freya, I don't know that one. She seems too pure, like it's like it's like Yuna. I don't know if I'd view her that way.
She's a little bit more real. I would kind of go in that direction.
More for Luna
I don't
Freya.
know. We're saying like, who would you rather see naked first?
Well, yeah, all of them clearly is the answer for like
The
who would you
answer
want
is
to
all
see
of them.
naked. Yeah, it's everybody, but every one of the
Who
chicks.
secretly has a rockin' body?
I think it's Luna Freya.
Yeah, you think she works out?
I think, yeah.
She probably takes care of herself. Yeah.
Probably takes care of
She's got that cardio. I know that dress. She's got like a 6-pack. She's like super, super fit.
Yeah.
It sucks that she had to go out the way she did. But what about what were the other options for the chicks? I never remember the one chick's name.
The one Gentiana.
Gentiana, yeah. I never remember her name. I can't.
Gentiana, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. The Shiva. Who was
Shiva.
that? Whoever was Shiva first. Was that Gentiana?
Uh,
Who was the dragoon one that like flies around?
Shit, don't ask me. I know who you're talking about. Is that Endea?
Man,
Fuck.
It has been too long. But she's not really that big of a part of the game either. So.
We pretty much know the main 4 dudes.
I also saw. I'll bring a question that I saw from Twitter. It was
Altis.
Altish is the
Altish
town.
is the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to see that town naked. That's for sure.
I think it's Aranea.
Aranea, that's what it is. Aranea would be fine, yeah. But she wears like really tight stuff, so she's almost naked anyway. But
yeah, she works out too. I'm afraid she'll be like scary fit though.
Yeah,
like a woman with a 6-pack makes me scared. I'm just scared of them. I don't know.
More scared than you are
about
of
that. A man
normal.
with a 6-pack? Yeah, more scared.
I was
going to
say more scared than you are of normal women, but
yeah, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here.
She just does crunches. I don't know. It's not that crazy.
Theme park part 2.
Oh shit.
That's our next question. Really 511 asks, now that you guys made a theme park, you guys need candy shops and gift shops to be in it. What Final Fantasy related things would you add? And about my culinary dreams, check out my Instagram. Thanks for the plug there. At Alan_Rod99. Love the show. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Alan_Rod99. Okay. We made a theme park. We talked about rides. We talked about some certain sexist candy that I was into. What things will we add to the shops? You gotta have. I mean, in a real sense, I'd probably get like those limited time sodas we got. I know they had like a potion soda that they put out in Japan. You would have to have that stuff stocked like all the time, right?
Yeah. I would say multiple lifetime supply of cup noodles with the Dissidia and Final Fantasy 15 characters on them.
It's like a ramen shop, which totally, dude. After we had that episode about the fucking ramen stuff in the middle of Ogden, I looked. There was a ramen shop. It was just called a ramen shop, and it fucking zoomed past, and I was like, God damn it! I made such a big deal about like I've never heard of a ramen shop being in the States.
Yeah,
but that's not true.
There are some.
There's totally one in Ogden that it just said ramen like on the shop. Anyway, you gotta have cup noodle, but it's got to be like a higher class cup noodle. But then there'll be little shacks everywhere, like that'll have cup noodle.
It'll have like a rotating cup noodle,
like hot cup noodle.
Yeah, hot cup noodle you could buy for like $5, some giant ripoff.
It would probably just be a dude, like there's cup noodle, like on a thing in like a coffee dispenser or whatever
with the hot water.
And just like, or wait 3 minutes. Here you go.
Here's what I do. I would have a chocobo leg stand. So like just like in Disney, where they've got the turkey leg. You just sell turkey legs, but it's chocobo legs, right?
Yeah.
So you got a turkey leg stand. Those are amazing. Turkey legs are so fucking good, man. Like they're so good that Disneyland has a shirt that just says turkey leg with a picture of the turkey leg on it. Like it's godly. But instead it would just be chocobo legs. So that's an idea for a shirt. You'd have to have the gift shop. You've got to have like your little, I went to Midgar or whatever. I went to blah, blah, blah.
And survived,
yeah. little pins. I would have, let's see, maybe like an Icicle Inn where like you stay. One of the like on resort inns and it's like really, really cold.
Oh, shit. What if it's like, I don't think Icicle Inn was made of ice, but you could pull one of those.
It's themed, yeah.
Yeah.
It's themed as if it were cold, even though it's totally going to be in like Florida.
Right.
I would do I would do like a snowboarding thing outside of that too. So like the way you leave the inn to get to the park is by snowboarding down this hellish hill in this awful
That'll be
little
good for
mini
the
game.
disabled and the old people.
Yeah, yeah. We'll make it disability friendly. You can put your
your
blades.
wheelchair on?
Yeah, yeah, and it's like you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So if you hurt your legs, you won't know.
I think we talked about the gold saucer, but you got to have pretty much everything you had in the gold saucer.
Yeah,
in
this
the
the
park.
shitty basketball mini game.
What are some Final Fantasy foods? I know there's basically like there's sushi in some shops that you can see kind of through the graphics.
Yeah.
Then there's what the heck else? What would people eat?
There's the spaghetti that Titus was eating on the ship from Riku. So we could have Albed's
there you go.
Albed's Sketty.
Albed Sketty.
Yeah.
That'll just be a
shop.
restaurant in town. Yeah.
Yeah, a
There
little
you go.
restaurant there. We'll have the restaurant from the slums.
Oh, they
inside.
had that Final Fantasy restaurant in Japan, right?
Yeah. Maybe we could copy.
They gotta
that.
you gotta have a copy of that. So there was like the Leviathan. What was it? Like a Leviathan soup, or it was like blue and shit.
Yeah.
So that probably is something you would have to have there. Chocobo leg is good. I love. It's one of those things where we both ride the animal
And then eat the
and
animal.
then eat the animal.
Yeah.
Which people in the States just have a weird thing with. I don't think there's anything morally wrong with eating horse. Or any animal, frankly.
Yeah. People are weird about it.
People are weird about it.
Well, the weird thing
It's
to
like
me
someday
is
I want to try a horse.
the weird thing for me is when people insult countries that eat like dog. And I'm like, it's not like they're eating their fucking pets. Like, it's not like a pet. That's why you don't name the farm animal. That's why that's a thing, is because you get attached to the fucking thing and you don't want to kill it for food like you're supposed to. Or, I mean, supposed to, quote unquote, but the reason why you bought it was for that. So that's why you don't name it. You don't get attached. And then there are wild dogs in other places. Like, there used to be wild horses here. Like, it wouldn't be that weird. So, yeah, dog.
Yeah,
we got
dog.
dog on the buffet.
Yeah.
What would we call it? Oh, what's the dog from 8? I only remember naming it horrible things.
Angelo. And Angelo, thank you.
Yeah, Angelo. Yeah, we'd have like Angelo. We'd have to have a bunch
Angelo
of
stew.
Yeah, Angelo stew. There you go. No,
I'm
we'd
sure
have
that'll go over well.
So-
we'll have some dolphin food as well in that little dolphin part from FF7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there you go.
okay, this park is going to piss off a lot of people is
Yeah.
what we've decided.
Very misogynistic with the women that walk around the park. So like all of the characters from Final Fantasy will have.
Is
to
it
be,
like a Hooters? Everybody is a Tifa cosplay? All the park help?
They all have to be. Yeah. No, it would be more like a Disneyland. I'd say they all have to be kind of fitting. You know, like where the Gaston is like a ripped dude. You know, he's a dude that works out a lot. So we'd have to like cast everybody in the park. So we would have to have Mr. T as Barrett, and he would basically.
Yeah, there's no one else who could play him, unfortunately.
basically
so when Mr.
never-
T dies in like 10 years,
He would never be able to leave the park. Like he will have to be on there 24/7. We'll just have to keep injecting Mr. T with caffeine until he kills over, basically, and then we have to find some replacement. So yeah, I think it'd be fun to have that, like little photo ops with all of those guys.
Well, yeah. A Kate Sith would probably be the easy one, though.
Yeah,
He's
just somebody
already
in a
kind of a
suit.
big stuffed animal sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have to have someone good looking to play him.
that's true. That's true.
Let's see, what else? There's got to be some like spooky ride.
Yeah, there's a haunted house from FF7.
Yeah,
You could do like a.
I would you go through that and you go into the basement where like Vincent like pops out and it scares everybody.
Yeah. It's kind of, or maybe do something that's like Haunted Mansion, where you run through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You go in the elevator, and
Do
it's like
that.
this
more of a leisure ride.
experience. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that would be pretty fun. House of Horror, it would be like FF10-2 cutscenes playing like, on top of each other. Yeah, and it's like that's what we would do. Oh my god, we would do that. No, we would do that on the It's a Small World ride, and it would be that yell, and then also like the awful songs from 10-2.
Never sing my song.
Yeah, all of it playing at the same time, and it's like the ride that makes you go insane when you get off when you're done.
Yes, maybe no.
So we could have that. We could have the Small World.
Oh, that's good.
And then the gift shop, that would just be easy. Yeah, collector's editions. You'd have to have all of the action figures.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculously overpriced. By
Oh,
the way. Like,
way overpriced.
Like you could go to the Square Enix store in your local mall and buy it for half as much when you get home. But when you're there, it's the experience, so you buy it anyway, right?
That's right.
All the games, consoles. I think it'd be fun to have like an arcade that had the Dissidia games, and you could like totally match up against other players.
I think that'd be part of the Golden Saucer.
Yeah, probably.
That'd be
yeah.
like an off theme area.
And then like a zoo for some reason.
Oh, and there's a theater where they have
movies playing.
They have a short film sequel to Advent Children that's like a 4D ride.
Yeah.
You got to have that, man.
Oh, and then the theater just plays the movies.
It's like the Bugs Life ride, quote unquote, and the Back to the Future ride, Shrek ride, you know.
Yeah.
The 4D experience. But it's Advent Children's sequel, I guess. Like Advent Children, here, I'll make up some bullshit title. Advent Children Dewey Decimal Point 12 Escape from the Building of Midgar Center. I don't give a shit. That's what the whole title is right there. And you go in there, there's a little bit of a stunt spectacular thing, and then the video starts playing with your big 3D goggles, and like there's like shit in your seat poking you, and you're like flying all over the place while you're chasing the Advent Children dudes.
That would work.
I got this.
That would work. Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah, and then I would have like normal showings of all the movies. You know, someone on Twitter posted something about like wanting a Libertas DLC for Final Fantasy 15, and I was like, yeah, that would just be you as Libertas, like getting really pissed off at everybody for telling you that you have a drug addiction, even though your fucking leg just got crushed into a million pieces.
Oh, dude.
I think that would be a fun.
Those will be the little cheap candies for kids. They'll just be little
pill bottles for
candies
Libertas.
and little Libertas pill bottles.
Yeah, and then we'd have like calamari that we'd sell, and it would be
oh yeah, Ultros
calamari.
Yeah. That's good.
In the restaurant, I think that would be a great DLC though, because like, and then every once in a while when you take the meds, like you go on this like weird trip. You have like the trippy dream where like you're the hero of the story, and it's just, you know, fat old Libertas like killing the Emperor and fighting all of these things and meeting with Bahamut. And
oh my god,
this is my story now. And then he wakes up and he's just a sad man again.
Oh my god, it's great, dude.
Yeah, the Libertas DLC would only be available in this park. It's not available for download. This would be a Square Enix that would not make any sense at all. Passing out.
There has to be some DLC for either 14 or 15. You go into the park and like your ticket will give you a code that has your DLC. And that'll be like a tie-in.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, tie it into the digital games.
Yeah. I got this. Oh, a great like a great maze one could be Vagrant Story, like a maze sort of a situation. I think mini golf would be really well done in the Final Fantasy world, because it could just be like a bunch of like set pieces from Final Fantasy in a mini golf area. Like you could do like the school from FF8. You can there's whole like incredible golf holes, you know, through the FF8 seed buildings.
That would be good. Also, you could do like a little rail shooter ride. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty fun too, where you just shoot enemies of the games. Maybe even tie that in with Advent Children. That could be fun.
Good.
A lot of bad guys coming out.
And then to take you across...
Oh shit, Dirge of Cerberus. That's what you'd have to do. So it's still kind of shitty, but it's like fun.
To take you across the park, you would have... there'd be, instead of just the regular kind of... what do you call those things?
Ski lift?
Ski lifts, right? It would be... They're ski lifts, but each ski lift is dressed as a different airship.
Oh, okay.
Going across a big thing.
Like main airships?
It'll hold a few more people in it, so it's worth the money. But
that would be fun, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll go over the whole park, and there'll be like this big volcano in the background from FF15. Yeah, so that you can see that. Oh, that'd be a good ride. So instead of like the Matterhorn or whatever, which I think they got rid of, didn't they? Disney? Anyway, that was a great ride. Fuck them. It would be the volcano thing. You'd be going down it.
No, yeah, that'd be good.
Dude, this is making me too excited. I know it'll never happen.
Yeah, it won't. It's too. If it ever happened, and the thing is like, it would only happen if Square Enix got bought by like Universal or Disney.
If Square got bought by Disney, then there's a chance that there'll be a section of the park for that.
Yeah.
So.
Man, maybe we do need Disney to just buy everything.
And of course, because it'll be Disney, there'll be also a Kingdom Hearts.
And they'll be in Star Wars too. They'll like the next Star Wars episode 10 will star like Cloud Strife. Or someone playing Cloud who
Jesus.
came.
And
everyone will love it. Everyone will still love it. They'll just eat it and they'll eat it up.
Let's check our iTunes reviews.
Let's do it.
iTunes reviews. iTunes reviews.
Okay, first up in reviews. This is hilarious and nostalgic from X States. 5-star review. Thank you very much. I started listening to this podcast.
He knows what's good for him. Is what it is. It really is.
I started listening to this podcast about a month or two ago and have come to love it. A month or two ago. Okay, not too long ago.
Nice, yeah.
I know that I'm a little late to the party, but that's okay. There's plenty of hilarious content for me to catch up on, even though I'm 1/3 of the way through the content already and have already been through all the review episodes. Caleb and Joe are hilarious in their antics and reviews and aren't afraid to speak their minds on games that, while we all love them, can definitely have its flaws. There are a few times I've had to stop listening for a few minutes or hours. This confused me. Why? Although mostly it was because I was at work performing mental tasks and I was laughing so hard I had to stop in order to keep it together.
Oh, okay, that's good.
The episode that they had Black Mage Justin on, they were talking about Final Fantasy X-2, and they made the comment about the voice acting for Brother being so outlandish because of how the game was set up that they made comments about him being on drugs and saying that they need to do all this on this take because he's about to come down. Then they had to play the party line and the yell from Brother. When I heard that, I almost spit out my drink and my face turned so red from keeping in the laughter I wouldn't have been able to explain it to my supervisor as to why that would have been an outburst. Overall, the show is hilarious, and while they might be incorrect occasionally, how dare you, on some of the finer aspects in the game or some of the combat aspects, no one should expect them to know everything. I do enjoy their ability and willingness to research on topics like the history of Square Enix and various artists of Square. Those episodes give me insight into the game that I haven't had before. There is a good variety of their content, and I even enjoy the parody music. That's okay. Dave is working on something. The drum tracks are done for. We all know the drum tracks are the fucking shit that takes the longest. The drum tracks are done for.
That's because they can't keep a drummer. That's why.
That's a big part of it. Certainly, the drum tracks are done for.
Chris Adler went back to his first band. Like a fool.
I keep on forgetting the name. Oh, Real Emotion is what the name of the damn song is.
Yeah.
Okay, he says, the only downside is that when they talk about the games, it makes me want to play those games. So I'm kind of getting Final Fantasy ADD, except for FF13, that game can go die in a fire. I'm sad that I came in so late to the party, but I'm glad that I have a lot of content to catch up on. Maybe sometime I'll send them a message or a tweet. It'd be fun to chat about FF and other games. Here's the problem with that. There's nothing wrong with you sending me a tweet. I don't want to talk any more about Final Fantasy after I'm done with with these shows every weekend. That's what I found out about myself. It's like, I don't know, it's nice to see it, but I don't really want to have a conversation right now about it.
Yeah, just like go listen to the podcast.
I mean, like that's what I kind of made the podcast for. I had so many like Final Fantasy thoughts. I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy so much.
You don't have those
and now
thoughts.
I've purged it. Now it's just like every weekend it's like, I don't need to talk about Final Fantasy with anybody after this. Like, this is good. This is what a podcast is for. So, guys, if there's something that you've been wanting to talk about so badly, start a podcast.
Yeah.
And you'll cure yourself pretty quickly. My rankings from bottom to top.
FF1, FF2, FF13. Ooh, it's really low. FF4, FF15, FF5, FF6. Tactics Advance.
Whoa.
FF8, 7, 12, 10, 9. And Tactics is number 1. Hasn't played 3, 11, or 14. Enjoy the grind, guys, and thank you for what you do. Oh, thank you for the review.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
super appreciate it. Really good, girthy review right there.
All right. This one is titled The Ultimate Metallica and Megadeth Fan Podcast. Well, I've only finished From A for Extreme.
We've
Well, I've
only mentioned Megadeth once on this episode.
That's true, yeah. No Metallica yet. No Metallica talk. Well, I've only finished a few of the Final Fantasy games. I like the series enough that I decided to check this one out when I was looking for new video game podcasts. I'm glad to say that these guys have become one of my new favorites. Joe and Schweiss have great chemistry, and their exploration of the entire Final Fantasy series makes for a really compelling listen. Their various tangents and off-topic detours are often the mortar that holds the podcast together. So much so that when I found out they do a general gaming show called Nude Clan, I immediately subscribed to that as well to get more of their dialogue. They also aren't afraid to be funny in the face of increasingly sensitive atmosphere. They tell the jokes they want to tell and say the things they want to say, and I think the show is all the better for it. Because of this, the hosts are some of the most down-to-earth and real people I've heard doing a video game podcast, and I think that should be applauded in an age where most other podcasts are too busy walking on eggshells to actually be funny. I will continue to enjoy the grind. Now please read this review again in the most cartoonishly stereotypical Asian accent you can muster.
Hold on now. I never do a cartoonish Asian accent.
I could do
I
one.
try to do a pretty accurate one because I was around Yoshia for a long time. And I can also do when I had the Brazilian roommate, I could fucking talk with a Brazilian accent all day too. So look, it's not stereotypical. There is a stereotypical Asian accent, which I will not do, and I hope that you don't do it either, Choice. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Okay, fine.
Because I don't want to get any more shit for that. He was talking about us walking on eggshells earlier, that we don't do that. And I just think, I don't know.
I just hope
I don't
that,
have any more thoughts on this.
I hope no. Here's what I hope. Here's what I hope happens. I hope there's a Japanese kid who has a Final Fantasy podcast, and his dad always comes in. And he's like, "Why you know Ultima? You know Ultimate."
Oh wow!
And then he goes back and he like creates a new episode, like twice as good as the one before, trying to become the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast that his father wants.
See, that
him
was
to do.
If that was supposed to be a Japanese guy, that was incorrect.
I know. That's like my South Park Asian.
The guys in South Park can do a Chinese accent and a Japanese accent. They can do them separately, and they're actually pretty darn they're over the top and crazy, but they're pretty darn good at being able to separate. I could tell them. Come on, get your shit together.
That's what I hope happens, though.
Get your racist, terrible shit together.
I don't have to.
God damn it! I can't ever. I can never respond to this shit. I can never do it. Yeah. Speaking of Metallica and Megadeth, both of them are coming to Utah this year.
Yeah, I haven't bought tickets for either.
I haven't either. Looked like we had the same little lip smack at the same time. That was a nice moment.
Yeah. I had to not look at you for a few minutes now. Yeah. It's too uncomfortable.
We did it at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. We lip smacked at the same time. Thank you guys for your reviews, though.
Thank
It really
you.
helps the show out. It's hurting me. It's hurting me seeing this average rating of 4.5 out of 5. So please, God, make up for those people who hate us.
I mean, that's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough, yeah, because there are some that have given us some really brutal reviews, but we appreciate it. We have 206 ratings on iTunes now. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty darn good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a good chunk of the. It's an okay chunk of the audience at least, but I know a lot of people don't really use iTunes. So
Hey, can I go off topic real quick?
yeah, go for it.
I don't know if I'll have time to do this on New Clan. I'm a big film guy. I definitely have talked about it enough on this show because I just love talking about movies, and I've seen a shitload of movies, studied movies in college. I'm trying to make movies right now, and so I love movies. But there was one really famous movie, tons of people have fucking seen, called it one of the greatest movies of all time, and I never saw it.
The reason I never saw it was because my mom thought it was an evil movie, and so I wasn't allowed to watch it at my house. And then because of how notoriously scary this movie was, I also couldn't see it anywhere else. And then I got that movie and borrowed it for 3 years, and didn't want to watch it because I didn't want to watch it alone. So basically, this is me telling you a story about how I'm a big puss. I watched that movie last night with a friend of mine who was finally willing to watch the fucking movie with me. And I gotta say, guys, if you haven't seen The Exorcist, fucking go see it. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. Holy shit.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's so tightly written. It's legitimately freaky. It's really intense. Very well acted, directed, everything. It's just an amazing movie. Holy crap. I can't believe I waited that long to watch that movie.
Yeah, I watched the other one more recently. There's The Exorcist, and then there's the one with the little boy. I can't remember what that one's
The
called.
Omen?
The Omen. That one's not as good. But it's still enjoyable.
That's not even. Yeah, that's not in the same.
It's
level.
no. It's not even
Rosemary's
close.
Baby, I think, is the other movie in that era that's pretty good as well. Like, I would say like those two.
Yeah.
70s kind of dealios. Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist now. God damn it. I can't believe I waited so long to watch that fucking movie. It's so fucking good. Holy crap, guys. News flash. Exorcist is awesome.
Yeah.
I know I'm 40-something years behind on this one, but seriously, go watch The Exorcist if you haven't. It's good. It's not an evil movie either. It's about a fucking priest who's like dealing with his faith issues. That's the like core of the movie. It's like God, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
it's good. Anyways, if you want more off-topic talk, you can definitely check out our other show, Nude Clan, which is at nudeclan.net or wherever you get your podcasts. I have a Godzilla podcast, so if you want to hear me talk about movies, that's the place to do it. Stop asking for a fucking movie podcast from me. It's not going to happen. Go to the Godzilla podcast to listen to me talk about movies. And Puff Puff Hour, God, which I've actually listened to all the episodes of. It's not bad. They bitch about me for about 20% of the time, and they talk about Final Fantasy for about 30% of the time. But that's a good place if you want to check out like the brother or the sister show of this podcast. It's Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast.
Yeah.
And what do you got?
If you like Game of Thrones, I have a Game of Thrones podcast. It's called For a Few Chickens More, a song of Schweiss and Johnson. We're going through all of the Game of Thrones TV shows, comparing and contrasting it to the books, and just kind of doing a deep dive on everything. And it's been a lot of fun so far. So
nice. Well, we were going to talk about the first chapter. We were going to read the first chapter or so of Final Fantasy X 2.5 and discuss it, but we went off on Vagrant Story for 40 minutes. I apologize. We'll have to do that at another time. We are going to try to get Vagrant Story done by next week, so please ask your questions in the forums, and please give us your reviews.
yeah,
Yep. Okay.
check out those other shows. And guys, until next time, as always, enjoy the grind.